After viewing a few videos on this subject, I became interested in whether my DIY lathe and I were up to the challenge of turning a tri-corner bowl. I only filmed the turning of the inside of this bowl. That's coming up in a minute. This picture actually shows my second attempt at this using an old piece of 4x4 Doug fir, and the bottom of the bowl is already in process. A tri-corner bowl is turned from a cube, spinning 6 of its corners on the axis of the remaining 2, and in the process, 5 of the corners are milled away. Mounting the cube is a bit tricky. You can't use a worm screw in your chuck, and it's difficult to mount it like a spindle between pointed centers. I used 2 DIY hollow end cup centers to hold the corners of the cube, which then was driven by friction at the headstock. You want to line up the free corners of the cube to rotate as closely as possible in a plane so that the final peaks of the bowl's edge are of equal height. Here are my cup centers. One I made of wood, mounted here in my headstock chuck, and the other I made from a gas pipe nipple, sliding a bolt through it to insert into the free turning chuck of my tailstock. On the right side of the cube, 3 of the corners are already milled away to create the bottom of the bowl, and the bowl foot and the mounting tenon are in process. So in the video coming up, the piece is flipped around into the drive chuck for turning the inside. Well, a bit clumsy, I must admit. But as I mentioned, this was an old piece of Doug fir, and it was never going to take a finish very well, so I decided I'd paint it instead. And that's where the next step in the evolution of the Twisted Cube commenced.